Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a Victoria teen is arrested in connection with a deadly shooting.
Victoria County political leaders weigh in on the chess match playing out over Texas congressional maps.
Plus the final days of UHV as students know it, how the campus is transforming before the new semester.
We had wall-to-wall sunshine today, only got up to the 95 degrees, but there's a whole lot of moisture down there, and that's going to be slowly working its way up into our region. I think you'll see more clouds and more showers tomorrow. We'll have all that coming up in a moment.
And the Yoakum Bulldogs ready for their Week 1 challenge versus the Calhoun Sand Crabs. We'll hear from 3 of the Yoakum Bulldogs players later on.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
A Victoria teen has been arrested in connection to a homicide. Around 5:15 Sunday evening, Victoria police were called to a disturbance on Sycamore Street. When they arrived, they found 19-year-old Gabriel Gonzalez with a gunshot wound. They tried to save him, but he did not survive. 17-year-old Jonathan Partita has been arrested in connection with the case. Victoria ISD would not tell us if Partita is a current or former student. Police have not said what led to the disturbance. The investigation is still ongoing. Well, Texas lawmakers have passed new congressional maps. Republicans hoping to add more seats, but not without Democrats fighting back.
And 25 News Now reporter Trent Whiting spoke with some local political leaders about their take on this situation.
Texas Democrats dominated headlines over the past few weeks, leaving the state to avoid a vote on a new congressional map and drawing the ire of Republicans who feel the lawmakers shirked their responsibilities.
Somebody's paying you to do a job. Why not do it, right? Even under protest. I protest, but don't leave the state.
Victoria County Republican Party Chair Bill Posey says it was a strong political move by Republicans, but responses from states like California could counteract Republican gains in Texas.
I believe Gavin Newsom's going to have an effort to possibly redistrict there too. They only have 10 seats in the Republican Party in California. Will they be able to offset that? I don't know.
On the other side of the aisle, County Democratic Party Chair Jewel Buchanan says Democrats' goal was to spark national attention to Republican redistricting efforts.
They didn't go into it thinking that they would change the outcome. They did it to raise awareness. So more and more people would go, well, what's going on?
Buchanan says the Democratic Party may have forward momentum.
What we're going to do is we're going to get out in all of those new districts that are created as Democrats and talk to the voters. What is it that you want from a candidate?
Political expert and professor Woodrow Wilson Wagner says both Republican redistricting and the Democrats' departure may not have accomplished what they each hoped.
I think the result of this could not play in the Republicans' favor, that it energizes the Democratic Party. As far as people protesting and leaving the state, I think it makes good headlines, but it doesn't really move the needle in changing the outcome.
His main concern is that this process of redistricting, normally done after the census every decade, becomes a competition of power between parties.
I wonder if it's a domino effect that never ends, and then it becomes almost a game. And I don't think it's a good idea to start making democracy a game like that.
Trenton Whiting, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
Chair recognizes the Dean of the Senate.
The state may have to deal with some legal action as a result. Organizations like the National Redistricting Foundation are pushing forward with the case, submitting a 67-page complaint calling the redistricting unconstitutional.
For now, though, Governor Abbott says he plans to move quickly on signing the new maps into law. DeWitt County is now under a burn ban. The burn ban will be in place for 90 days, but can be lifted early or extended depending on conditions. The penalty for violating the burn ban is a fine up to $500 plus restitution for fire calls. Lavaca and Calhoun counties are also under a burn ban. We have been getting some rain, so we're not as dry as we normally are in August, but we're looking for some cooler temperatures.
I like the fact that Max put some numbers up on the board that are not temperatures.
We're looking at possible fall changes. I'll tell you why. Here we are, the last week of August. September 15th, September the 10th, our temperature average drops down to 89 degrees. So we're optimistic. There's quite a bit of moisture here that's going to be rolling in, and that'll give us a chance for a few little showers in the next 2 days. There is a front in Texas, but it's not much of a front. We'll talk about that possible switch into fall-like temperatures within about 2 weeks coming up in just a moment. Back to you.
Mike, thank you. This week marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans. The storm made landfall near Grand Isle, Louisiana on August 29, 2005 as a Category 3 hurricane with winds around 125 miles an hour. But it was the flooding that proved catastrophic after storm surge caused the city's levees to fail. Nearly 1,400 people lost their lives and damages estimated at $125 billion. The storm also hit parts of Mississippi very hard. This week, New Orleans is hosting events to remember one of the deadliest disasters in U.S. history.
Another historic storm slammed into the Texas coast near Rockport 8 years ago today. Hurricane Harvey brought devastating winds, record-breaking rainfall, and catastrophic flooding. At its peak, some spots saw more than 60 inches of rain. That storm also caused around $125 billion in damage. It displaced tens of thousands of people and took more than 100 lives. To this day, Harvey stands as one of the costliest and most destructive storms in U.S. history, tied with Hurricane Katrina in terms of damage costs. And here is our viewer poll tonight. How did Hurricane Harvey impact you and your family in the Crossroads? Did you have major home damage or flooding, minor damage, no damage, but you lost power? Or were you not directly impacted? And it stayed just above 50% all night of voters having minor damage from Hurricane Harvey, which pretty incredible that as strong as the storm was and where it hit and everything. So thank you to everyone who voted. We also have a few comments. Mark from Yoakum said it wasn't nearly as bad as Carla in 1963, which I think a lot of people use Carla to kind of gauge hurricanes around here if they were here at that time. But if you have not voted, visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And thank you to everyone who did vote.
More than 80 immigrants with criminal histories were rounded up in South Texas as part of a multi-agency crackdown called Operation Pickoff. U.S. Attorney Nicholas Gange says 65 of the people arrested are accused of being in the country illegally after previously being removed. Charges range from drug offenses and human smuggling to fraud, burglary, and assault. Many could face up to 20 years in prison if convicted. The operation began last Friday and stretched across 4 Rio Grande Valley counties, with federal authorities saying more arrests are expected as the effort expands through other South Texas counties. President Trump is considering a crackdown on crime in major U.S. cities and using the National Guard to do it. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirms some troops will be carrying weapons while walking the streets of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
Trump is also now threatening to deploy more troops to other major cities, including Chicago and Baltimore. ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest.
About 2,200 National Guard troops seen patrolling the nation's capital, spotted at train stations and outside national monuments. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says some of those troops are armed.
They're armed, capable of defending themselves and others if need be, supporting law enforcement, and we're proud to be there, sir.
The Guard stationed around tourist attractions and the metro, not in Washington's most high crime areas, according to reports. Police officials say crime in D.C. is at a 30-year low. Despite that, the president is calling the deployment of the National Guard troops a measure to address out-of-control crime in the nation's capital, also saying Chicago desperately needs help. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker urging the president to back down.
This is not about fighting crime. This is about Donald Trump searching for any justification to deploy the military in a blue city, in a blue state, to try and intimidate his political rivals.
Trump is also threatening to send troops to New York and Baltimore, 2 Democrat-run cities. Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott says his city was starting to see reduction in crime rates before Trump's initiative.
The president could help us all continue to see this work go even further, because none of us are celebrating. We want crime to go down, again, even further. We want to do it the right way.
ABC's Rachel Scott questioning the president if he would send troops to red states.
You've talked a lot about Democratic-run cities and states. Would you also consider sending the National Guard into red states and red cities that are also seeing high crime?
Sure, but there aren't that many of them. If you look at the top 25 cities for crime, just about every one of those cities is run by Democrats.
Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
This was a scene Sunday in a Texas backyard after a police car crashed through a fence and came very close to landing in the family pool. Houston police say an officer was trying to pull over a driver when the accident happened. The fire department says the officer was taken to the hospital with a leg injury. No one was in the pool at the time, but that was not the case a short time before the crash. First responders say children were in a spa area of the pool but got out before the crash. The incident is under investigation.
Law enforcement investigating reports of an active shooter at the University of Arkansas today. No threat was ever found, but police received 308 landline calls and more than 30 911 calls reporting an active shooter at 7 different buildings across campus. Some callers reported seeing a suspect or hearing gunshots. Police say it looks to be a swatting or hoax call. False reports of active shooters were made at universities across the country over the past few days. Classes were canceled for the day at the University of Arkansas, but housing, most dining and transit services remained open. The first visible sign of change at UHV, the school's logos are coming down. The new Texas A&M Victoria signs won't be ready until spring of 2026, but temporary banners could go up to fill the gap. Governor Abbott signed the Senate bill moving the school from the University of Houston system into the Texas A&M University system. Under the new law, UHV will officially become Texas A&M University Victoria. That will happen next Monday, September 1st, making it the 12th university in the A&M system. Students will begin classes on Tuesday, September 2nd. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, a new study reveals how hearing aids do more than just improve sound, the surprising benefits for your overall health.
Also ahead, the rebranding decision that backfires for Cracker Barrel, what the restaurant chain says now. A new study shows the Mediterranean diet combined with lifestyle changes can help prevent type 2 diabetes in older, overweight adults. Harvard researchers tracked nearly 7,000 participants ages 55 to 75. They found a low-calorie Mediterranean diet paired with exercise and weight loss support cut the risk by 31%. Experts say it's the combination, not just diet, that made the difference. Participants also maintained their weight loss for 6 years. Listen up, your hearing aids may help you with more than just your hearing.
And with more, here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Hearing loss is the most common type of sensory loss in American adults. Experts say people who have trouble hearing often feel isolated and lonely. Now, a new study from New York University's Langone Health finds hearing aids and other devices can help. Using hearing aids or another type of hearing device can help those with hearing loss feel more connected and confident in social situations. That kind of social engagement boosts overall well-being and may even lower your risk of depression and dementia. If you notice changes in your hearing, for example, you have to keep asking people to repeat what they've said, especially noisy places, Or if you're having trouble following dialogue on TV, talk to your doctor. Getting help for your hearing isn't just about sound. It can help you feel more connected and less alone. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
The TSA is cracking down on certain hairstyling tools, and bringing the wrong one could get your bag pulled. New TSA rules ban cordless hair tools, including curling irons or flat irons with lithium metal or lithium ion batteries. Also curling or flat irons fueled with gas or butane. The items are banned in checked baggage and can be carried on as long as they are fitted with a safety cover and protected from accidental activation. The start of the new school year means new beginnings for students, but it may have you thinking about your own career goals.
In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains how you can successfully navigate a career change, and she also breaks down which industries are hiring.
Looking for a career makeover? The process to switch industries may be easier than you think.
The first thing is to really assess the skills that you have that could be those transferable skills.
Dawn Fay with recruiting firm Robert Half says switching industries is possible. You just need to understand how to market yourself and your skills.
It's all about how you can communicate and articulate your product and services.
Robert Half recently conducted a survey and found 91% of active job seekers are open to changing industries. Here's how to start. Robert Half recommends when you explore careers in other fields, first, list your strengths, network with people in that industry, and fill holes in your knowledge base.
For example, somebody might be working at a consulting firm or an accounting firm, and their clients may have been, let's say, tech clients. So although you yourself have not worked in the tech industry at a big tech company, you have serviced that industry.
Be open to getting additional certificates or take a webinar to enhance the skills you'll need in that particular field.
You want to show your ability to learn, grow, take initiative.
Many industries are hiring right now. Tech, IT, finance, and accounting have the most job openings, according to Robert Half. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Cracker Barrel is responding to all the backlash over its redesigned logo. The restaurant chain revealed a new minimalist logo last week that dropped the barrel and the old timer many believe is supposed to be the uncle of the chain's founder. A wave of right-wing outrage followed, and the company's stock nosedived more than 12% in a day. Cracker Barrel posted a response on its website today saying the backlash shows they could have done a better job sharing who they are and will always be. And it said Uncle Herschel will still be found on the menu, on road signs, and in the country store as long as they still have the chicken and dumplings there, Mac.
Really, that's all that matters to me. It's just a sign, you know. I mean, good evening, everybody. We're looking at 80 degrees right about now. Obviously, a warm day. Got up to 96 this afternoon, and that's our average temperature this time of year, 95. The thing is, now that we're getting close to September this coming weekend, we're going to be looking at these average temperatures changing. That's good because by September the 15th, this should be less than 90 degrees, so there's some hope in the horizon there. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. Obviously, we've had some pretty hot days around here, and I'm just hoping that as we get to the last week of August, that things will change for us. While we had an east wind today, you might notice that just below Corpus Christi, there's a whole lot more cloud cover. It's kind of like when the high pressure builds in, it sort of squeezed all the high levels of moisture are out, and so it all scooted down into the Gulf. But in the next day or so, that's going to be rolling back up into our area. You can see it right here. And you can see how the sea breeze would basically bring it back into the area. I think you'll see a lot more clouds tomorrow, a little bit taller clouds, and a chance for some showers rolling around here, much more than we had for today. Now, people have been talking about these frontal systems. Okay, number one, there is a front in North Texas. It is slightly drier to the north of it. Now, in Oklahoma, they were in the upper 70s today. That's good. But Dallas was at 92, so that's not no change for us. And this one's stationary, so it's really not coming much farther south. There is another front 7 days from now, and you know that's a pretty long forecast, that hopefully will get a little bit farther south. Will we get a north wind out of it? I don't know, but I do know that these folks are really enjoying it as a very strong cool front came through. Fall-like temperatures down into the south, and darn right chilly, I guess you could say, throughout much of the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. So they're feeling a change in the seasons. The big dome of high pressure that was on the west, well, that's flattened out. That's good. And so now we're getting the troughs. We're getting the fronts. So sooner or later, one of these will make it all the way through. I'm thinking it's closer to September the 15th. That date always is good for me, so I'm going to go with that when we finally say, it's over. All right. So here's Corpus Christi. All the shower activity was in deep South Texas today, and that's good. They're not complaining. Most of it driven by afternoon heating. And then, of course, as the sun goes down, everything sort of decreases. For us, we didn't get any of that at all. It was just plain old sunny and hot. Now, here's a little bit of good news. Technically, according to the drought monitor that we get every week, Victoria County is not in a drought. Okay, the rain was good. I don't know why DeWitt County went to the burn ban, but they did, so we got to respect that. Thing is that where our rivers begin, which is the hill country, still continues abnormally dry. And even though all that torrential rain that fell, you know, July the 4th, well, it's still below average rainfall seasons. Burn ban, yes, I mentioned that. Here comes the map, and we can say that both DeWitt County and Calhoun County continue under a burn ban, and so does Nueces County way down south. So we take a look at the Gulf tropics. Everything's quiet there. What happened to Aaron? Aaron's gone, a distant memory. Here's Fernand, no major problem here. He's staying out in the Atlantic. And we look at the big picture, and all of a sudden it got real quiet. I mean, it was very busy, then all of a sudden quiet. So we don't have anything behind Fernand, and we'll just kind of wait. But the longer we wait, the better, because as you know, September the 10th is the peak of the tropical storm season by average. And after that, hopefully we'll be on the decrease. So good chance for rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, hot and steamy for the weekend, and then just garden variety activity for early next week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Talking about cooler fall nights, you got to be talking about football, right, Max?
That is absolutely right, Mac. Again, we're getting to those cooler temperatures. I think I'm hearing there, Max. So that's good season there for football-wise. And it's good also because we get to reveal our game of the week that we're going to highlight here for week one. I'll tell you what that is coming up in sports. Crossroads, we've officially arrived to week 1 of high school football season. I can't wait to get you all excited for Friday Night Lights and let you all know also, if you haven't seen back from Friday, we revealed our Crossroads Football Live preview show. That's on our YouTube page now, so if you want to check it out, just go to YouTube and type in Crossroads Today and then look it up from there. You can check out me and Ray highlighting everything going on before the season starts here going into this Friday night. But during our preview show, we hinted about revealing our game of the week here for this week in week 1. Well, guess what? Without further adu, we're going to give it to the Lavaca River rivalry between the Industrial Cobras and the Edna Cowboys. The game's going to start this Friday at 7 p.m. This game's going to feature a lot of new ideas that are going in here. You got new quarterbacks, new coaches in charge, and first of all, you got Edna's there and Trevor Floyd. Industrial's got a quarterback battle going on right now between Zach Viriel and Cooper Francis. They're trying to replace longtime quarterback out there in Ashton Garza for the Cobras. For both teams, like I mentioned, they also have new head coaches back in the preview show with Edna's Jamie Dixon and Industrial's Matt Ludicky. And both the key for both of these two teams, it's not going to be the flashy players. It's not going to be, again, also how the defense does. It's going between the offensive defensive lines because both of these teams have very senior-led offensive defensive lines, including Edna's, which has got on the defensive line Hunter Bearing, which is named their Dave Campbell's preseason defensive MVP. So it's going to be huge to see how he does there for Edna there this Friday night, which takes us now to tonight's viewer poll where I asked everyone who you think will actually win this game, Lavaca River rivalry. And we look at it, the Edna Cowboys, I thought about it, was about 60-40. Didn't change that much. It's about 63-37% going into it. So again, right though, Industrial, they were cheated out a little, I think cheated out there last year in that game and really changed the season for the Industrial Cobras. We'll see if that kind of changes going in through the rest of the way because after that game, they went 2-8 overall for Industrial. Edna made it very far in the playoffs. So we'll see how this game goes there for our week 1 matchup for Game of the Week. Another top game we're watching in week 1 is the Yoakum Bulldogs. They're hosting a team that's also got a new head football coach in the Calhoun Sand Crabs and Coach Stephen Hernser, who replaced longtime head coach out there for the Sand Crabs and Richard Whittaker. And we're looking at it from the Yoakum perspective, though, because they're going to still introduce a new quarterback after they lost senior Trey Cuellar. And also, they're going to look to see if they can get that quarterback. Because once whoever that is, he's going to throw to a top receiver there at SMU's Xavier Barnett, which we can show you here from the stats given. Look at this. From last season, he had 31 receptions, 614 total receiving yards, had 5 touchdowns in total, and then 76.8 yards per game, which means this guy was getting up there, yards per wise, almost all the way up to about 100 yards per game. So we'll see how that kind of translates. So with these amazing stats from Barnett, he and 2 of the stars, and Brendan Jacob and Jackson Thompson, they look to make some noise this season for the Bulldogs.
I'm feeling good, just excited about my senior year, excited to start the season over. Got the last 2 scrimmages out the way, now it's time to get and go.
Absolutely. Mentally, I think we're good. I think we do want to win a lot, and we plan on winning. I mean, we have the people to do it, and we have the strength to do it. I mean, our defense is good. I'm really looking forward to see how our defense plays this season.
I'm just looking forward to getting back into the season. I'm ready to start playing again, and it's been a long time coming. I'm excited. We've just been putting a lot of work in, practicing as much as we can and stuff, just preparing.
Now you heard Barnett, Jacob, and Thompson. They look to make big contributions in all different positions this year for Yoakum, and they're looking to turn that page because last year they went 8-5 overall. They went a couple rounds deep in the playoffs, and they know they want to be a top 2 seed to play a lower seed and try to get farther into the playoffs. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shauna, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Max, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather, plus the international competition that turned a city into Corgi Central. A look at the pups that stole the show.
Stay up late, and I'll tell you all of Jimmy's secrets.
We got the color going on.
We do. We look like Christmas. We're a little gift for everybody.
You see what I mean? Little presents for everyone.
Ooh, look at
A city in Lithuania turned into Corgi Central this weekend. Thousands packed the city's biggest park for an international race and fun contest featuring the beloved breed. From sprints and group races to costume challenges and the mightiest voice contest, it was all about the Corgi spirit. Teams from across Europe, including Poland, Germany, and Italy, took part. The event even linked Lithuanian pups with their counterparts in the U.S. and Ireland through live stream. This year's big winners were Amigo, who took the best costume, and Mango, who raced to solo victory. They are so cute.
Corgi was Queen Elizabeth's favorite dog.
That's
Yep,
right.
yep. Bigfoot. Fans took a giant leap into downtown Marion, North Carolina this weekend for the WNC Bigfoot Festival. The state's biggest celebration of the legend had crowds making tracks down Main Street and taking part in fun activities. The event started in 2018, launched by Bigfoot 911, a group dedicated to keeping the mystery alive. Since then, it's grown every year, proving the Bigfoot legend still stands tall. And no, we did not see Bigfoot on our trip out west the last week or so, and because if we had, I would have tried to do anything.
Are you
to get the
sure?
video of it.
Are you sure?
We did not see it.
You didn't
Yes,
see
there were no
Bigfoot?
big footprints.
Okay.
Only my size 12. That was right.
That's big. Well, folks, we got a better chance for getting a few showers around here over the next 2 days as the tropical moisture rolls back in. You might have noticed that it was hot today, but it wasn't as humid. That's because the humidity was down, obviously. And then as the week get to the weekend, we'll start pushing back up to the upper 90s. Let's just hope that, you know, spring, or rather fall, starts showing up pretty soon. So we've got maybe 2 more weeks of this hot stuff before we finally break out of the 90s. Wouldn't that be great?
Can I write that down? 2 weeks?
Please, write it down.
Okay,
Write it down.
hold you to it. Well, Tuesday is the year's biggest day for man's best friend. It is National Dog Day, right in the middle of the dog days of summer. Well, I don't know. Max says we're coming to the end of it, but dogs give their owners so much in comfort and unconditional love. So this is the perfect day to treat your pooch to an extra walk, a grooming, or an extra treat. National Dog Day was founded 2 decades ago by animal rescue advocate and dog trainer Colleen Page. The date of August 26th is personal for her. That's the date her family adopted their first dog from an animal shelter when Paige was just 10 years old. Oh, we all love our dogs. They're part of the family.
Yeah, that's right.
Thanks for joining us.
25 News on Sunrise, 5 a.m. Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.